Welcome back to Boys and Ghouls Film Review, folks. I'm your host, Sarah Stephenson. This is my co-host, Mike Stephenson.
Hi, guys.
So tonight we are reviewing
a brand newie
movie that came out this year called Monster Mash. And it was
this year.
This year, obviously.
Not quite sure what month it's come. I can't find out too much information on it at the moment.
Yeah. So as you guys may or may not know, it's not a. This one is not based off the music video or anything like that. This is just I think it's a comedy horror, or more comedy than horror, than when I think about this one.
Well, you've taken my part out. I'm on to go and do coffee. That's all I had to say. What I was going to say is later on, it's been advertised or listed as a horror film. If it's a horror film, it's pretty pathetic.
Yeah.
If it's a comedy horror or a parody, then it's quite good.
Yeah.
So there's a bit of difference depending on what genre you're going to put it in.
Yeah.
And I think it's been advertised or categorised as a horror film. And
It's like comparing...
And it's not really a horror film.
It's like comparing Abigail to this one, obviously. And where Abigail... It comes off as a horror comedy, where this movie is comedy horror.
Well, I think it's more comedy than horror. I mean, it's got a vampire, it's got Dracula, and it's got the Wolfman, it's got the Invisible Man, it's got Frankenstein, all those good groovy guys. And the problem is that it's not a serious movie, but it's been listed as a horror movie. So honestly. Yeah, if you don't advertise it or categorise it properly, and people are going to go see it thinking that's going to be a horror film, and it's a comedy, and it's done as one, they'll be severely disappointed. And the people who might enjoy a comedy horror might miss it because they think it's a horror movie.
Yeah.
So,
and it's just like the movies we often talk about in the past where some fan goes to a movie and they're expecting a gory horror movie, and when they come out of it, they think, "Oh man!"
It's like the Care Bears. Yeah, right.
Yes,
Yeah.
it's one of those types of things. The ones we often talk about, that gets misinterpreted, and then all suddenly the reviewers say, "This doesn't look like a horror movie. This is more of a comedy horror, or a thriller horror, or more of a coming of age horror."
Yeah, whatever. Yeah. But anyway. Irrespective, I haven't got enough information on this one, so bear with me if you will.
Yes.
Produced by David Michael Latt, written by and directed by Jose Prendes, Prendes. I do not know anything about the budget and box office too early. I just got nothing to look at on the old internet. I will go through the cast, though, as I normally do. Michael Madsen plays Dr. Frankenstein. He's not a nice man, this one. He's using these guys so he can become an immortal himself. It doesn't go according to plan. Anyway, Ethan Daniel Corbett plays Dracula. If I want to drink your blood, blah, 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 blah.
Yeah, he actually puts on the accent, He
does reasonably well. Emma... Reinagel, that's maybe the right name, Einagel, plays Elisabetta. Okay. Eric Kelso-Man plays Boris. Now, Boris is actually Frankenstein's monster. And actually, everyone thinks, Frankenstein is the monster. No, Frankenstein is the guy who created the monster.
We had this conversation last week when we were at checking out a Gothic store, and we were talking about Frankenstein and how Mike here thought Frankenstein was the monster.
Well, I didn't say that. He's been referred to as Frankenstein all the time, but he doesn't have a name. It's sort of like Clint Eastwood in those The Good, the Bad, and the Ugly and different things. The man with no name. He doesn't really have a name. So he comes in, he does his bit, and he walks out again. But he doesn't have a name.
So I told this to Mike, and I told him that how Frankenstein's monster never even was given a name. He was born, he was created, and his creator abandoned him.
Yes, before he even had a name. Oh, anyway. Adam Sleeman plays Ramesses. Mummy, obviously.
One thing that interests me in the Mummy, it didn't at the time when I heard him say his name is Ramses, it occurred to me that they didn't use Imhotep. That was a popular
They probably
Mummy
forgot.
movie name, obviously, that has been gone down from generation to generation.
Well, maybe he retired.
Maybe, I don't know, maybe they just, it was just, that one kind of was a bit of a confusing thing. Why did they change that to that? Why couldn't they change him to Imhotep?
I'll just go to coffee, will I?
Okay, go on.
Thank you. Gabriel Pranta plays Hawley Griffin. Is that the Invisible Man?
Yes,
yeah.
He's the. That's what in the book
Hawley,
and in the movie he had a name. His surname was Griffin.
Yeah, that's the Invisible Man after it. So I know who. And Ian Hummel plays Charles Conliffe, the werewolf. Walkies. Okay,
yeah, his special effects is really different to the usual ones.
And actually it's quite funny because in most werewolf movies he can't talk when he's a werewolf. Well, in this one he can talk.
Yeah.
So yeah, okay, a talking dog. Well, there you go then.
Yeah.
Okay.
We can actually add one more name to this mix if we can.
Who's that?
I think she plays the witch. There's a witch in this one, obviously. Or
there's two girls. One played a maid, and one played a witch. I didn't have them printed off. I wasn't going to do everybody.
That's okay.
Okay, go on.
I don't know how to spell her name. Technically, it's like all the other names in real life. It's hard to pronounce.
We got it written down there somewhere. Which one? Down the bottom here, is it?
Yeah.
I can't read your handwriting. You must be a doctor. Is it big? Is that Knegr?
Kri.
Oh, Krieger. Bix Krieger plays Millen. But your handwriting's terrible. What?
Yeah. Well, what's this way it was spelled anyway?
No. What's this name? Millen. What?
Mila.
Miller.
I don't know.
Oh, short for Camilla, maybe. Yeah. She's a witch who gives advice to
a vampire.
The vampire guys who are
like.
trying to battle Dr. Frankenstein.
Yes. So
blah blah blah.
We don't have a box office or even a budget.
Or anything,
it's because it's not on Wikipedia. The details.
And I don't know where it was actually made.
Yeah.
Anyway, do you want to go tell them the story while I have a sleep?
Sure.
Okay.
The story takes place where. In Transylvania or Romania.
Or somewhere. Over there somewhere.
We do see a lot of castles in the European area.
I don't know whether they're real things or models. Well, they're pretty good, though.
I think one of the pictures there looks like the famous Vlad the Impaler's castle. I saw a picture of it one time, and it's not easy to forget. Anyway, so... Elisabetta is drinking from her servant or foal.
Having a suck on the old neck, you know.
Yeah, just a quick drink. Anyway, she gets abducted by Boris and gets taken to Dr. Frankenstein's laboratory in a different castle, obviously. Anyway, so she's held there throughout this movie, obviously, and Frankenstein orders Boris to go find, bits and pieces to build this new
he wants
monster.
Bits and pieces from the Wolfman, the Invisible Man, etc., etc., because he needs them, the DNA or whatever, to help
become an invincible
something
monster.
To make him an immortal.
Yes.
In a big way.
Because I think Dr. Frankenstein is not feeling well.
He's not very well.
Yes.
He's becoming an older man with health issues.
Yes.
I know exactly how he feels, man.
Yes. Anyway, Dracula appears in the castle and he finds traces of that Elisabetta is no longer there. So you guys know there's a little bit of backstory into his story in this one, where he and a mortal lady were in love, and she was getting old and slowly probably dying. So She dies of natural causes while he raises their daughter alone, obviously.
Sole parent. What a hard one. Sorry.
Mm-hmm. Anyway, he goes to the local bar, to talk to a witch to help him find out what happened to Elisabetta. And she tells her that they've been hanging out, and I think Elisabetta was trying to find a cure to probably get rid of the vampire curse.
Yeah, to devamp herself. How's that?
Yeah.
Devamp?
Yeah. I think the old Dracula and her have a rocky relation. His daughter have a rocky relationship.
We have a rocky relationship.
Anyway, she tells him to go to Ramesses in order to get him to help him. Obviously, he does later go to her, but before we get to that part, Boris attacks Ramesses and kind of steals his mummified heart or his mummy heart.
He has a heart inside him which keeps him alive.
Yeah.
Somehow, yeah. Maybe not his own heart, but a heart which is a mystical, enchanted heart which, once it's inside a creature, such as himself, it gives it life. You take the heart out, then the thing just goes back to dust.
Yeah. Anyway, so you guys know, everyone in this movie dresses like they're a little bit like their counterparts from Universal Monster Classic type movies. Like
Dracula looks like a head waiter.
Yes, and he's speaking with a very heavy...
I'm talking in a Romanian accent.
And the mummy dresses like, like he came out of the grave just a while ago.
Yeah, like an accident victim, Burns victim.
And the Invisible Man dressed in bandages when he needs to.
Another Burns victim.
Anyway, and of course when the werewolf guy turns into werewolf, he just wears the same kind of hairy face and hairy knuckles and hairy...
stuff.
Just nothing over the top, obviously. Just some humoristic kind of way of doing it back from in the old days. So, back to the story. He finds the remains of the Ramesses, and he brings them back to life using his blood and a dead rat's heart.
Yeah, little one. Yeah, it'll do the job.
It will do the job. But, of course, he needs his new old heart to make him feel probably whole again.
Yeah, and stronger.
Yes. So, anyway, they head back to the bar and they find out more information about the creature, and she says that maybe you should look into finding, I think, Griffin to help them find where Elisabetta has gone to. Of course, they heard that each time Boris appears, he says Frankenstein type thing.
Hello?
Bear in mind, Boris, just like in the movies, he speaks very little English, or very little anything.
He speaks a bit more than the original 1930 whatever Boris Karloff.
Yeah.
Fire, bad friend. He does a bit more than that. Yeah.
Boris kind of develops a teeny-weeny crush on Elisabetta, which is kind of cute.
I thought she was cute. She can buy me any time she likes.
Yes. Of course, when he does get to Griffin's place, he's ordered by his Frankenstein to strip him of his skin. Because when he strips him of his skin, it becomes invisible, right?
No. He's invisible. When he takes the skin off, the skin that he ripped off became visible. Mm-hmm. Yes. Yeah.
Soon enough, Dracula and Ramesses arrive, and he uses his same blood again to make sure that Griffin gets better. And of course,
and men's better. Yeah.
He tells him the same thing, that the same creature that attacked him also called out Frankenstein when he was, there, obviously. So, anyway, moving on. So, the final person they tried to track down for this was the werewolf named Charles.
Charles. Yeah, Charles the werewolf.
Yeah, I thought maybe his name was possibly used in one of those old werewolf movies, but I was wrong. Maybe
I can't remember. The Lon Chaney. I can't remember what. Larry Talbot. I think Larry Talbot. Yeah,
So they arrived there, and of course, he hasn't been attacked yet, but soon enough Boris appears. He attacks all three of the guys, and eventually he actually he tears off the werewolf's legs and arms, obviously. And before you ask, no, Dracula doesn't use his blood. He actually grows his legs and arms back, like a sort of lizard approach.
Yeah, or a starfish or something or other. Oh, yeah.
According to one of them, I think it was Griffin who said comment that was like...
curse. He can't be killed.
So it was like a lizard approach. And they eventually work out exactly where to go to, because they find out that who this Frankenstein guy was, obviously.
They hadn't heard of him. Mm-hmm. Don't they watch movies? I don't know.
Yeah, anyway.
No, it's a period piece. They didn't have televisions, did they? Yeah,
nope.
yeah.
Anyway, they head down to there, and of course, the last piece to make Frankenstein mortal is Dracula's blood. And,
that's right, yeah.
Yeah, because he needs that to complete
That's why he's got Elizabeth in prison. He doesn't want her. He wants Daddy to come looking for her so he can imprison Daddy and get the blood out.
Yeah. They fight off dear old Boris, and we're able to get past him, and they go for a set of booby traps.
That would have made Indiana Jones proud.
Yeah, they use their methods of ways of getting around it, obviously, using the invisibility man's abilities of being invisible, and Dracula's appearance.
Turn into a cloud of smoke or something or other, yeah.
And the werewolf guy who was able to use his gymnastic movements to get through it, bit by bit.
Well, yes, he's a very agile little fellow.
Oh, yes. Anyway, they sooner get to there, and they told... Dracula wants to go look for his daughter while the others try to find Frankenstein, I guess. I'm not sure. Anyway, he eventually finds him, and she's chained down onto a table, about to be possibly killed by Frankenstein with all that stuff.
Mean.
Meanwhile, Boris, he gets revived by the lightning. He gets electrocuted.
Hey, just in the nick of time, yeah.
Yes. Anyway, he then guides our three remaining monsters to the laboratory, where he watches as Dracula sacrifices himself to save his daughter by offering up his blood. And Frankenstein, he wants all of it. So he's kind of drained him dry, we think, obviously.
Oh, you're taking a lot out. Yeah.
And he kind of disappears for a bit. While this is happening, the others try to fight Frankenstein off, but of course, in his final moments, he made his essence go into the body he chose.
Frankenstein died, or severely mortally wounded, and while he was dying, his essence transferred into this new creature he was making.
Yeah, this creature looks like a CGI werewolf, like the ones from Van Helsing, that particular movie, where it looked much more bigger and a lot more moderner.
Yeah, half lizard, half wolf. Some little big thing, vascally.
Yeah. Of course, they try to fight it off, and of course, they try to go to higher ground in the graveyard and fight it off as best they can. Soon enough, Dracula appears after having a little bit of a fast food. He had some
Uber Eats,
He then turns into a bat and starts making
a big bat.
Yes, a big bat, and starts attacking Frankenstein. The only way, I think, was his weakness is the Ramesses heart, which would probably be
right, yeah. If they attack him and they rip the heart out, they didn't kill anybody. But that was the main part he needed to get the heart back.
Yeah. Soon enough, he transforms into some teeny weeny bats and zooms into his throat, and that tears a hole into his chest, guessing they were able to get the heart out. And the heroes or monsters decide to celebrate in their favorite bar again, and they talk, and Dracula makes this inspiring speech how they were all separated but now they're together for this. And I think Liz Beta couldn't find a cure, but she found Boris, and I think she found love with him, obviously. And we get a post-credit scene indicating that Dr. Frankenstein might be still alive. We don't know. Then the credits start to roll. The end.
That was
I know that's a quick movie, but guys, but it's mostly running back and forth.
It's a straightforward movie.
A straightforward movie, and it had a lot of interesting costumes in this. I won't take. It's not a serious movie, in my opinion, but it's more of a, as I said, it's more of a comedy with a little bit of theatric, look to it.
We think it's like I said, this is a horror, but we think it's more of a comedy horror. But it just, if it's supposed to be a serious horror, it doesn't measure up. As a comedy horror, it's pretty damn funny. It's quite good tongue-in-cheek sort of stuff.
Yeah.
I
like how the people that are in the bar, they treat them like, oh, this guy has a radical skin condition, blah blah blah.
Some goat's milk's good for your skin, and that's the mummy. He's a bit dried out.
Yeah,
okay.
And you agreed to it, obviously.
And Frankenstein's monster, Boris.
He had a first drink.
He had a drink of beer. What is this? What is this? A big one. Ooh, yeah.
Yeah, I did like.
Kitties shouldn't drink.
That's true.
He's young.
But I do like the fact that they used Boris Karloff's name for his character.
Yeah,
it was a good.
Sweet.
It was a good Easter egg.
To Boris, yeah.
Well, bear in mind, Mike, we did say Frankenstein's monster never had a name.
Considering Boris isn't his real name anyway. He's some William Pratt or something or other.
But it doesn't matter so much. I mean, I always will consider the fact that it would be nice if he was called Frankenstein Monster too, but it's not his name, obviously. It's the name of the creator.
Well, it could have been Cyril, but no.
Nope. Anyway, so we don't have any. I don't think we have very much on this movie.
We don't have lots and lots. But I do have a little bit reviewers sort of stuff.
Okay, go for it.
I found one. Actually, I found on IMDb. It's funny if you people go in there, you'll probably see it. There's a guy there saying, it says the Asylum, that's the production guys, distribution guys, are doing what Hollywood won't.
Right.
No. So this is presented as by the Asylum, but I believe it's actually done by another film, Acme Holdings or something else. I'm reading the notes here. It's not clear to me who actually made the film. Probably the Acme guys, and Asylum maybe distributed it. Or it's made under their banner or something. Anyway, no matter. This is something Hollywood should be doing, making movies fun again. Now, he says it's fun. That's not a horror movie, is it? That sounds like a comedy. So so that's what I mean. So that's what his impression is the same as ours. Okay. Now, he's got his question. He's got cheesy with a question mark. He says mountains.
I agree with you on that one.
It's great. It's fun. It's a lot of tongue-in-cheek stuff. It's fun. It looks like to me. It's an independent. It's a labour of love. I don't know if it costs lots and lots of money or a little bit of money to make. Got no idea.
Yeah, I would definitely agree with that one where it's saying it's a little cheesy.
No, but it's made. That's why I think it's supposed to be a comedy. Yeah, it's got low budget question mark, only the lowest. So he thinks it's a low budget. Got no idea, but it could be low if you had the right sets made up for the right price, the right locations. Yeah, who knows? But anyway, I did find some other ones on IMDb. I wasn't going to write them all down, but most of them are positive, except for the odd one or two grumbling about the genre classification. So not really a horror, more of a comedy horror. So that's something you got to look for. Look out for when you're doing a film. Get the right classification so that people will actually know what they're going to go see. Otherwise, you could annoy people. So I can't really say anything. I could talk about the acting and stuff, but I mean, I think there are a bunch of, apart from Dr. Frankenstein himself, I think there are a bunch of unknowns, or relatively unknowns. Because I haven't seen them before, but they did a pretty good job. If they are newbies, I thought they were having fun. Yeah, especially some of the lines and the actions and the attitude of the Wolf Man and the Invisible Man, they were quite fun. Yeah, the Invisible Man was quite laid back. He's just hanging around. And so they had a nice, comfortable comedy type feel to it. That's why I say it's a comedy horror.
Yeah.
Now, I can't think of anything else to say.
It's probably one of our short reviews for this
It's going
one.
to be really short. I want to at least get up to 30 minutes. Actually, we'll go on something here before I grade it. Mm-hmm. If you are inclined to go looking for this film,
Okay.
this is called Monster Mash. It's done in 2024. Mm-hmm. There's also another film called The Monster Mash, 2024. Mm-hmm. It's I think it's an anthology about 3 or 4 different stories or something or other. Not the same film.
No.
And there are other old movies, animated, other whatever, and there's a wrestling thing, and there's old animated. There's 2000, 2008. There's 2 animated movies or whatever called Monster Mash. There was wrestling thing 2007 called Monster Mash. There's an old movie 1996 called Monster Mash.
Yeah.
So when you go hunting for this, when it comes out, it's not on eBay or Amazon yet. I think it's too new. But it has been found on YouTube, and that's where we had a look at it.
Yes, we
So if you want to have a look at it in the meantime, YouTube, go and have a look. There is a listing there. He put in Monster Mash 2024. Nothing else comes up with Monster Mash name for that period. So what you see is
what you get.
Dr. Frankenstein, Michael Marsden on the main cover, and that was it. That's the one looking for.
Yeah. Okay.
So I'm going to roll into grading it. Because I've got nothing else to talk about. I don't want to bore the people too much.
Same.
Okay. If it's a horror movie, or meant to be a serious horror movie, I wouldn't grade it very high. But I believe it's misgenred. I think it's supposed to be a comedy horror. If it's supposed to be a comedy horror, I'm going to give it 8.5 or 9. I'll give it 9. I've been generous this week. I'll give it a 9 if it's supposed to be a comedy horror. If it's a horror movie, it's supposed to be serious, I'd give it a 6. But I think it was made as a comedy. Okay? No.
Yeah.
So that's my bit. What are you going to do?
Well, I'm going to make it not really high, and I'm not really sure about... Half the time it was pretty interesting. It had humour, but some parts, some of the padding was a little on the slow
it's supposed
side.
to be... I reckon it was made that way as just like an independent sort of fan-type based film honouring the genre.
Yeah, I don't mind that too much.
That's why I'm giving it a bit of a reasonably good grading, because the filming was good. Someone grumbled about, some of the scenes are a bit dark. Look, I've seen some dark scenes in some films which are done by the studios, and they're so black I can't even see the people's teeth or eyes shining in the dark. This isn't too bad.
I did like the filter colours they used. They used a lot of vibrant stuff.
Yeah. Blues and stuff.
Blues, reds, for intense moments.
Yeah.
It was pretty cool.
We bring the emotion up. There are subliminal colours and stuff, which works quite nicely. Are we going to roll into a closure?
Yeah, well, I haven't rated mine yet.
Oh, yeah, well, rate
so I'm going to give it 8.5 out of 10 myself. It wasn't too bad. I like the fact that the characters were able to sort of create their own, try to follow it like the original stuffs here and there, not to make it too, a serious movie, obviously. I mean,
I can't see it to be a serious movie, no.
It's more, as I said, it's a comedy and sort of a parody, would you say?
I don't think it's a parody. It didn't actually copy anything, so a parody's when you copy something, so...
Yeah.
But I'd say look at the comedy horror. Like, leave it alone now.
Okay, leave it alone. Anyway, so it's pretty much a good watch if you like something that has a bit of stage humor, which is how I see it mostly. It feels like it seems like it has a stagey type thing, and the costumes are pretty
Not bad.
not too bad. You know, I would, if I had the money, I would like to go out and get
the
a
costumes and
corset
props
like
and the sets weren't too
Elizabeth
bad. Yeah,
did.
and the film was good. Yeah,
And
yeah.
I like the fact that the guy who dressed up like Dracula kind of followed the
tradition of
traditional
the
look
tuxedo and a cape. And, that's, yeah,
and the accent and the dark
come on.
dark eyeballs. I mean the dark
Oh.
eyes. And I like the Invisible Man's, wrapped around bandage and weird glasses approach.
Sunnies.
Yeah, I mean it's pretty cool.
Actually, there's one part there they're trying to get through the booby traps, and they had mirrors there to sense some people moving in the area. So he had to take all his clothes off, which
chilly.
obviously he's walking around. And yes,
As I said, they had to
he didn't
use
see anything.
they had to use whatever there was at
A
vantage.
naked man that you couldn't see.
Oh yeah.
So that was quite funny. Yeah.
Yes. So that's the Monster Mash. So you guys know our thoughts on it. So I'll be sure to put a link,
Yeah.
the YouTube link at the bottom,
I would, yeah.
it will allow you to actually watch it for yourself. Obviously, if it stays on there, there's a chance maybe someone will pull it off.
Yeah, but the point is, what will happen probably in the next. See, again, we're doing this as at the 19th of May, so by the time you see this, it might be, the first week of April? So by then, you go hunting, you might find it on eBay and Amazon by then, or maybe later in June sometime, rather it might rear its head, and you might be able to find a copy.
So you guys know, I should have mentioned this at the beginning, I've been hunting for this movie since it was announced on YouTube, so it was a little difficult for me to find at first. I mean, I was waiting for it to be released so long because I thought it was something up my alley, obviously.
Yes.
Because I did like the fact that they were using costumes, going for different accents, and just using the general universal monsters from the olden days.
I'm getting a taste. I want to watch Frankenstein and Dracula the Wolfman again, the original ones.
Anyway, that's about it from us, guys. So I hope you guys enjoyed this short review.
Sorry, we should have done two, hey?
But we've been having I was trying to get as much information as I could, but I couldn't find enough information.
There's not a lot of information out there as one at the moment, but if we did this in a month's time, it might have hit the film circuits, and there might have been a bit of Wikipedia or something or other. We could have gleaned some information out of and different things. And
So, what can you do, guys? Yeah. Anyway, so that's it from us, guys. This is Sarah Stephenson.
And Moral.
Saying see you guys around on Boys and Ghouls Film Review. Bye for now, and have a good week.
Can't wait to talk to you next time.
Alright, see you guys next time, and see you then. Bye.